Julie fell out of bed. Irritated, she turned her alarm off and got ready for the day ahead. Everything was going wrong. She scalded her mouth on her coffee, spilt breakfast down her front, and her favourite high heels broke all before she had even left the house. I should just stay home, she whined as she pulled on another pair of shoes and made her way out the door. As Julie drove to work, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. She pulled up to the traffic lights. Feeling half asleep, she wondered to herself how she was going to make it through the day. The lights turned green, and she pulled off from the stop line. The sudden jolt and sound of crushing metal. Julie realized a truck had run the red light. She felt a shard of metal pierce her side, and her life slowly slip away. She closed her eyes, only to open them again. She was confused, still at the traffic lights, waiting for them to turn green. Shaken, Julie checked herself over. No cuts, only vague signs of her spilt breakfast. The lights turned green, and she paused, not wanting to move forward just yet. The person behind her honked their horn, just as a truck came barreling through the intersection. Once the truck passed, Julie finally moved forward. She spent the drive to work wondering what had just happened and how it could be possible for all of this to occur. When she got to her office, she decided she needed coffee. The kitchen was empty, and the kettle unplugged. Grumbling about how inconsiderate it was, she picked up the plug and inserted it to the socket and turned it on. A burst of electricity jolted through her body and she collapsed to the ground. The sound of people running, and voices yelling to call an ambulance. "Julie, hold on, okay?" Sound slowly drowned out into silence, and darkness enveloped her. "Julie, hold on!" She opened her eyes, holding onto the plug for the kettle, and somehow standing. She looked around to her co-worker. "What? How? What's going on?" she asked, now extremely confused. "Do not plug that in. There is a short circuit which could be really dangerous." Julie set the plug down and sighed. "I need to sit down." "Rough morning?" "You have no idea." Julie turned and walked back to her desk, giving up on the hope of coffee. "Well, just be careful. Anthony is on the warpath today and will probably get you to do something stupid." She didn't think too heavily on what was said until Anthony came to her desk. "Julie, I need you to go out to Westwich Reserve. We have a client that wants to look through the cottage up on the West Hill." It was more of a barked order than a statement. "You mean the one up on the cliffside?" The colour from her face fading. "Yes. Do we have any other houses for sale in Westwich Reserve that I am unaware of?" "No, I'm just feeling really unwell right now, and don't feel up for driving," Julie said weakly. "Well, we can't afford a taxi right now, so you'll just have to drive. There is no negotiation with this, Julie." "Yes, sir," she mumbled. Collecting her things, she sat in her car and tried to calm herself. "It's okay, Julie. This is all in your head. This is just a really, really weird day. You can do this. You are the best realtor in your section. You can sell this house and then go home. It's okay. It's okay." Starting the car, Julie left the parking lot and started her journey to Westwich Reserve. Her car ran out of fuel on her way and stopped on the tracks. Her seatbelt jammed and she couldn't get out. She tried to remain calm as she gently stretched the seatbelt out so she could climb out, but her ability to remain calm went out the window when the gates dropped and a train rounded the corner. Panicking now, she struggled to get out, but it was no use. The train's horn blasted as it slammed into the side of her car. Her car tumbled, and she felt her neck crunch violently. Her eyes opened, and she was still in her car in the parking lot. Opening the door, she vomited, wiped her mouth, and then looked at her petrol gauge, which read empty. Trying to calm herself again, she told herself she could get to the Westerwich Reserve. She could then go home and take the rest of the week off. This has to be some sort of virus that makes you see things. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a virus. Just a really, really bad virus. She took a deep breath and drove to the service station and filled up her car. She noted the clouds were a deep grey, which threatened rain. Feeling uncomfortable, she paid for her fuel and made her way to the reserve. Just my luck, Julie hissed. It had started to rain, and the safest road up to the cottage was closed for roadwork. She had to take the winding dirt road up the side of the cliff face. She always struggled with hairpin turns, but her nerves were in tatters with the rain now coming in hard. The tires of her car sliding and spinning in the mud. She wished she had just called in sick. She neared the top, and on the last hairpin turn, she made it to the top safely. Julie breathed a sigh of relief. The client never showed up. She waited till after lunch before calling it quits. Calling Anthony, she let him know what was going on, and that she would be back within the hour. She started her car, now laughing off the weird happenings of the morning. She started her way down the cliff face, still nervous with the mud becoming more slick. Rounding one of the hairpin turns, her tire lost traction and she lost control of her car, which slid off the dirt road and plummeted to the rocky break below. Julie screamed as she fell and landed on her bedroom floor, her alarm blaring. Shaken, she turned off her alarm and stood up. She was at the beginning of the day. She just knew it. Deciding to prove this theory, she put on her heels, which after one step broke again. She kicked them off and crawled back into her bed crying. Julie called her boss to let him know she was unable to come in. She lied, saying she had gastro. After the call ended, she turned on the heater and rugged up on the couch. If anything in this world could make her feel better, it was bad daytime TV. Slowly, she dozed off, peaceful and safely on her couch. A loud beeping woke her abruptly. It was her fire alarm. Her blanket, which had rested against the heater, had caught fire, and so had she. Screaming, she ran to the bathroom, but tripped on the bath mat and smashed her head on the corner of the sink. This time, there was no wake up, only darkness. Hey guys, Flamingo Creeper here. Thank you for checking out my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I post a new video every Monday and Wednesday. But if you're impatient, I do have older videos you can check out if you haven't already seen them. Or you can watch them again. That is completely your prerogative. If you want to send me your own creepy stories to read to this beautiful creepy community, you can either email me or message me over Facebook. The details for both will be in the description. Just be sure to include a brief statement saying I do have your permission and letting me know whether or not it's a fictional story you'd like me to read on a Wednesday or a real creepy encounter that you'd like me to read on the Monday. Also, if it's a fictional story, let me know what your pen name is or how to refer to you so I can give you appropriate credit. If you haven't already, go like my Facebook page as I post daily about various creepy things ranging from urban legends to serial killers. As always, my creepers, be safe. And remember, the monster isn't under your bed. It's in your head.